Hey everybody, welcome to the HopCast.
Thanks for coming just a little bit down the road from where we normally hang out.
Right, we're at Goose Island Clybourn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and I'm Brad Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeder, and we are being joined by Mr. Wil Turner,
Yep.
head brewer over here at the Clybourn Brewpub, Goose Island.
Yep.
So thanks for joining
having
us.
Absolutely.
And we've been coming here for years. We always love the beers, and we have a great time.
Yeah, this is a spot where you can come and if you're out of market, you can enjoy some Goose Island beers that you would normally wouldn't see. These beers don't get bottled, so it's all like brewpub exclusive stuff. You can find some of your favorite Goose Island stuff here, but for the most part, it's Will just going creative, extreme creative stuff and doing his own recipes. So.
Well, the nice thing is that you can always find your favorite Goose Island beers. You know, if you do fly in from the West Coast and you get off the plane at O'Hare, you can stop here on the way to downtown, come in with your luggage. You can get your fresh honkers, you can get your fresh IPA, your favorite bottled beers, the reserve line beers like Matilda and Père Jacques. But then, there are going to be another 8 or 10 different beers that we brew here at the pub. So that's the added bonus.
And that's kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
We each have 3 different beers that aren't bottled. And so I have the Queen Bee.
Yeah, and this one is close to your heart.
Yes, it is. That is Queen Bee is my wife. So
My wife.
Yes.
He's not married to the beer, but
She, I am lucky enough to be married to a hopaholic, and she loves hoppy beers. So for her 40th birthday, we created the Queen Bee, which is an Imperial ESB. So rich. Well, actually, I should say it is full-bodied, alcoholic, and bitter.
right, what's the ABV?
Like my wife.
What's the ABV on
And it's about 7.5% alcohol by volume.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got a local favorite here. We're talking about the Midway IPA. They say this is kind of meets Midway. It's a little bit of a pun because Chicago, the Midway, and it's kind of halfway between your regular IPA and the Imperial IPA.
Exactly. We have our everyday IPA that is on year-round. We'd also do a reserve line beer, which is the Imperial IPA, also brewed at the production plant. And then this would be midway between the two in terms of its alcohol content, bitterness, that kind of stuff. And when we brew this, each time it's a single hop variety. So this time it's Horizon. And we like that. It's got a lot of that similar orangey characteristic to Amarillo. We've done Crystal, we've done Cascade, which is the classic, more grapefruit-like. The Summit, we're very oniony. We just every time it's a single hop variety all the way through, and it's very good, for you guys to learn, but also for us as well, so that we can actually, make a mental note and pass on the information that we get. To everyone. So.
Yeah, it's really kind of neat because this is a way that you can kind of train your palate with a single hop beer, especially for us that, okay, maybe I brewed a couple homebrewed things, but I don't know anything about brewing. so this teaches me what the actual hops taste like. It's nice to be able to see it come in different every time that you guys make it.
It's good for anyone coming in and be like, oh, I had that. It'd be like, no, you haven't had it. It's different this time.
Yeah. And the thing is this is definitely a hop dominant beer. Mm-hmm. So we're not doing something where it's going to be subtle and people are going to have to look for the subtle differences between one and another. It's just going to be out there.
And so what are you enjoying at the moment?
Oh, and I am drinking the extra pale ale. Excellent. And, we brewers love to drink all these other beers, but after a long shift, it is nice to have something lower in alcohol. So this is 4.1% alcohol by volume. So definitely a session beer. And we hopped it with Sorachi Ace, which is a Japanese variety grown in the United States, but it's got a very lemony character to it. And then we dry hopped it in the fermenter with Amarillo, actually.
Oh, it's a good choice.
Right, yeah. One of our favorites.
It's very light-bodied, very crisp. Not a lot of malt character up front, but good
Seems
hop
pretty
character.
dark for a pale.
Oh yeah, we wanted it to be more more like a traditional British pale ale. Actually having copper color to it.
Okay.
So,
sure.
and British also in terms of its alcohol character. So they do a very good job in the UK of making flavorful beers at lower alcohol. So. Mm-hmm.
And as you can see behind us, you're definitely aging some beers in barrels here as well.
Oh yeah, we've got red wine barrel going right here. We've got rye whiskey. We've got some bourbon barrels. We've got in these right now. We've got some of our Wheat Miser, which was our batch 2000 here at the brewpub. And going back in history, batch 1000 here at the brewpub was Bourbon County Stout.
Right.
So batch 2000 was our Wheat Miser. We're much past that, but we're continuing to brew that. So essentially, that is like a wheat wine. We've got that in a red wine barrel and bourbon barrels. We've also got some Imperial Brown Ale, and that actually we're calling that Extremely Naughty Goose now. It is no longer called Imperial Brown Goose. It is our Extremely Naughty Goose because it's a double version of our regular Naughty Goose, American Brown Ale. So we've got that going, and we've got three barrels of that, 1 rye whiskey and 2 bourbon, and then we've also got some Doppelbock in a bourbon barrel as well.
Excellent.
So how long do you usually age them?
It's pretty much standard now that, when they started brewing the Bourbon County Stout, it was 100 days, but really people go either 3 months or 100 days minimum. Okay. So that's right about the same amount of time.
Right.
And we'll always let it go 3 months. We'll pull a sample off, taste it, and sometimes we'll serve it right then, and other times we'll let it go for another 6 months after that. So we've got some of the Wheat Miser, not the stuff that's going now, but some that's in stainless steel now that we had for 48 weeks in the bourbon barrels. Okay. So, but really, what we're looking for is, if you leave it in long enough, you get the complexity of the wood. Not only do you get the bourbon character, but you get the oak character of the vanilla and the coconut and everything else that comes from proper maturation.
Okay.
So we don't want it to just taste like bourbon.
No.
So we want it to be balanced between the beer, the bourbon, and the wood. So.
And you're also pouring on. You've got quite a few cask conditioned ales too. That's a recent development here, somewhat recent development here at Goose Island.
We've got a couple over there that are actually undergoing secondary fermentation right now. I don't know how well our ale yeast is fermenting in this cold.
It is
brewery
chilly.
Yeah. So it's probably a little colder, but yeah. What
I think Brad's nipping out.
What we'll do with those is when our beer is completely done with its fermentation, we'll chill our tanks down. And then once a lot of the yeast is settled out, we'll actually rack our casks. We prime it with sugar. So sometimes it's dextrose, sometimes it's wort from the kettle. Whatever fermentables we have, we'll run that into our cask. We put it in the brewery at, like I said, generally room temperature for about 3 or 4 days. It undergoes its secondary fermentation in the cask. So it's all naturally carbonated. Then we put it into our cooler so that it stays fresher. And then it goes into our cellar down here. And then from the cellar, we've got that set at about 48 degrees Fahrenheit in our box down there, and then those are dispensed up, through the beer engine upstairs.
Okay.
So that's what we do with our cask beer, and we've usually got, right now, we've got a minimum of 2, and then up to 4 or maybe 5 going.
Yeah, because before was it a max of 2?
I think it was 2, yeah.
1 or 2?
Yeah.
And then you've expanded since then, so that's always great. And you've also added some guest lines too, some local favorites around, which is great. And support,
Yep.
I think there's always Metropolitan on tap here, and
I think there's 2 brothers currently.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll get some crazy Belgian imports, or something that's really difficult to get in the United States. If we find out that there's something, that there are only 24 kegs coming into the U.S., maybe we'll get one of those in here for something different and unique. But we also like to support the local brewers. And if we're out of something hoppy, right now we do have our standard IPA in the Midway and a couple others, Queen Bee, those are all nice and hoppy. But if we're out of something like that, then we will get in, like a Two Brothers, IPA or something like that, or some hop juice kind of stuff, or whatever. But if we're lacking on the session beer side, then we'll get in something like a Flywheel, something lighter, more refreshing. So we just try to. Right now we have 6 different categories of beer. We have the refreshing, the session, we have the hoppy, we have the malty, we have the New World, and we have the Belgian. And so when you have that many categories, you can have you still have 20 beers on, but only have 2 in one, and it looks like it's empty. So yeah, maybe we'll get another keg of something in.
You do a nice job with laying it out for you. Everything's categorized and it's nice and balanced. Anyone can come in here and get a beer that they like. If they're not like us and we like all beers.
Right. The menu's laid out beautifully that you just. I'm like, oh, I like this style. Let me see what you got, or I like this. Yeah.
Because I can bring my mom in here and she can immediately X out the hoppy category and go straight to the malty ones, and she loves that. So it's perfect.
You should be able to find something that you like.
Absolutely.
And if someone comes in and they say they're not a beer drinker, well, we figure they haven't found the beer that they like yet.
Right. It's usually the case. They just have not been drinking good beers. Is usually the problem.
Or drinking enough.
Excellent.
So there's also been a change up here at Goose Island. And do you want to talk about that at all? You're leaving here?
I am leaving here. Yeah. Yes, I've been the head brewer for the pubs for nearly 8 years. April will be my 8th anniversary with the brewpub, and I am moving on to bigger and better things. So
not outside the Goose Island family.
I will be staying in the family. Absolutely, yes.
So we congratulate you on that.
Oh, cheers! Thank you.
And want to thank you for joining us, showing a little insight to a Chicago favorite, and has been for a long, long time, and will continue to be.
Yep, the Chicago institution.
Yep.
Like I said, we honestly do have people who stop on their way downtown with all their luggage, from the airport, stopping in just to fill up a growler to take back to their room, have a couple of pints and everything else. So, it is nice that they've signed the lease extension, so it'll be another 3 to 5 years here at this location. And then, we've got some fresh young blood coming in. Jared's going to be taking over here. He's been my assistant for about a year. And so he'll be developing new recipes, and he's been working with a couple of local restaurants as well. We started with Motto, doing a beer for them. He's supposed to be doing, he was talking about doing something with some other chefs in the city and developing recipes to work with them as well. So it's going to be
coffee stuff with Crop to Cup, I believe, right?
He's got a lot of stuff going on. So he's going to be bringing in, once again, working upon what we've already established, and then bringing in some new ideas and some new stuff, and that's what the brewpub's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always changing over here. You can always get something new. So things have not changed in that respect. So.
And hopefully I can help develop a new staple, that'll come from our production facility.
There you go.
That'll always be on tap here, and you guys can think of me.
Absolutely. And, so for all you people out there, on the other side of the United States, maybe you get to try one of Wil's beers one day if you haven't been able to come down to the Chicago Brew Pub here.
Yeah.
But so thanks so much for coming and talking about the beers with us.
Absolutely.
And thanks for watching.
Thanks, HopCast.